Hello, I'm probably riding my bike. Winter's here and my winter boots are out. Last week I was strolling around in a t-shirt. Today it snowed. I've said it before, the Korean seasons don't have a very long transition. One day it's warm, the next day it's snowing. Waterproof boots are essential. The first snow of the year is always kind of exciting. It's very pretty, especially when it's powdery and crisp like this. I never quite know which bike to choose. Quite often the powdery snow gets packed up in the fenders, and it's good to have some chunkier tyres with more tread. So I went with the Clem today. I left a little bit earlier for my morning commute, because you got to take it slow on the icy, snowy roads. All good fun. I did see a fat-tired Surly on for sale second-hand last year, and I was tempted to buy it. But I didn't think it was worth it just for the very few snow days we get per year. It never gets that thick, so the Clem will do. A very beautiful, picturesque morning, but the reality is this. An absolutely horrendous bloody mess. I'm only a fan of snow when it's powdery and crisp, and then disappears quite quickly. Not a fan of this just wet, gritty horribleness. It's a little bit harder to find the motivation when the mornings are like this. But once I'm out, it's still kind of fun. I ended up taking the bus one commute this week, and regretted it so much. I just missed riding my bike. Some of my colleagues were shocked to see me on the bus and not on my bike. One of them joked that cycling is such a part of my identity. I said it's not really a joke. It just is. When the snow is new, kind of like this, it's not too slippery or dangerous. It's when it thaws, freezes, and then snows on top. That's when it gets pretty tricky and quite dangerous. The mountains in the distance always look really lovely, covered in snow. In Seoul, the roads get cleared pretty quickly, and even the bike paths do by the end of the day, even for just the occasional hardy cyclist. Most of the ride was good enough, going to work and coming back. But I have to say, it was one of the rides I enjoyed the least recently. I think tomorrow I'll try a fendered bike, which was infinitely more pleasant. A dry ass brings a smile on my face. Cycling in the snow can be quite relentless on your bike. So riding a bike as nice as this is kind of risky, but I'll just make sure I rinse it when I get home and get all the grit and salt off. And bikes are made to be ridden anyway. Today the snow has melted quite a lot on the way home, so I thought I'd stop off by the flower market, not to buy flowers this time, but to buy some Christmas decorations. Some might say it's too early to put up your Christmas tree, but I think the 1st of December is the right time to do it. You get a few weeks of enjoyment out of it. Almost picked up that London bus to remind me of my home London. Quite a tiring week of commuting in the snow, but I'd take it over the bus any day. And now for Saturday's ride. Pumping up the tyres again. I let some out to get some more grip on the snow, but I didn't need that today. A glorious Saturday morning in Seoul. It doesn't really snow or rain that much here in winter. A typical day is a crisp blue sky like today. It's much colder than back home, but a lot drier, sunnier, a lot less miserable. So I find the winters more bearable here than back in the UK. As long as you have a good down jacket and some good gloves, it's perfect cycling weather. The snow in this November was sensationalised in the news as saying the biggest snowfall in Seoul for 100 years. It was just the biggest in November. Nothing more than we usually get. I'm happy it's mostly melted now though. I feel like autumn went a lot later than normal this year, so it's quite unusual to see the colourful leaves still on the trees with snow on top of them. A full-on city ride today. I didn't even make it on the Han River bike path. Heading up towards Gyeongbokgung through City Hall, where there's some kind of light bike infrastructure. Not perfect, but better than nothing. I'm going to go to a new bakery that I haven't been to before, that sells some cardamom buns. One of my favourite sweet treats, which I've never seen in Korea before, so I'm excited to try. A Scandinavian treat. You can get some in London too. The best one I had was in Malmö in Sweden. We'll see if these live up to those standards. I'm feeling optimistic because the standard of bakeries in Seoul has increased so much the last 15 years. Here at Gyeongbokgung Palace, with all the tourists in their hanboks, I hope they stay warm. The bakery was easy to find with a big sign, bread and coffee. It's Ocher Shore, right by Gwanghwamun Station. A bakery on site, and they roast their own coffee too. Another reason I wanted to come. They had a espresso blend, single origin, and a decaf roast. Plenty of delectable things on display, but I'm here for the cardamom buns. I love the savoury flavour of the cardamom spice along with the soft, sweet bun. Perfect with a flat white. I got the Sanmiinnan flat white, the more acidic beans, which went really well with the buns. I think the buns were as good as any I've had outside of Malmö. I think I might be a regular customer at this cafe, especially because they open at 8, which is earlier than 99% of any other cafe in Seoul. And the pain au chocolat lived up to the standards of a Frenchman too. My friend Baptiste, the owner of Tusky Cafe, came with his daughter, and the two Junhos made an appearance too. Some VIP snacks for the special guest. Junho was a little bit underprepared for the cold weather, so it's time to head off to Uniqlo to get some heat tech. I feel like every winter I have to go to Uniqlo either for myself or for someone else to pick up some emergency heat tech. Through some anti-government protests, as always there's some kind of protest around Gwanghwamun. The sky got a little grey, and Seoul's beginning to look a little more brown and grey. So the next stop after Uniqlo is going to be some winter warming food. You're never far from a Uniqlo in Asia, and the heat tech is a good layer to have on underneath. Not sponsored by Uniqlo, just like the heat tech. Thumbs up of approval from Junho, who's feeling much warmer. We can continue our perambulating ride around the back streets of Seoul. One of the main winter warmer foods in Korea is Gukbap. Soup rice. There's lots of different styles of one. Today we're going to get some seolleongtang at a famous restaurant called Inamjang. Seolleongtang is like a clear kind of milky broth made from beef bones, beef stock. Seolleongtang always comes with sour fermented kimchi and radish kimchi. A work of art. Just beautiful. Ready to be sliced up with tongs and scissors. This place has a strong smell, and I recommend the tuk, the big size. It comes with different types of meats, like soft brisket, ox tongue. You pile on the sliced spring onion, a little bit of salt. Absolutely glorious. The beefy broth goes really well with the sour kimchi that cuts through the flavour. And of course a clean bowl club. I forgot to get any videos, so here's an Instagram story of me, just for evidence. Old school Korean charm. These are 100% my favourite style of restaurants. Authentic. You've seen the bike check of Junho's crust, so now it's time for the bike check of Junho's Panasonic. A classic old school 26-incher steel frame with some more modern components. Velo orange cranks, MKS bear trap pedals, quite a big wide range cassette and derailleur, and some lovely Paul Motorlight brakes. Nitto billy bars with a super long stem. The same combo I have on my Atlantis. And some adjustments for Junho's handlebars. He added some even wider handlebars to his crust. I think they're the Forager Cycles oyster bar. The Philip braid looks really nice. It's good to have a friend who swaps their handlebars even more than I do. Extremely full after our clean bowl clubs. It's like a never-endless bowl of meat and noodles and rice. Very filling and warming. Perfect for a winter's day. And on a weekend ride, there's always time for 2 coffees. So we went past the Dongdaemun Design Plaza, past Gwanghwamun. We wanted to go to Erak again, but there were too many people, so we went to another just as good cafe, Peer Coffee. For some more flat whites. It was a nice touch that they had the light roast flat white in a white cup and the darker roasts in the other cup. Small touches like that matter to me. I never drink coffee out of a takeout cup because it just doesn't taste as good. The Junhos went off in their own way and I just headed home. Dropped my camera a couple of times on the way and enjoyed a hilly ride home. I watched this edit with my wife before the voiceover and she asked, why do you take the hardest route home up all the hills when you could just go a flat route? For me it's just fun. You get to enjoy the descents and feel good about getting some exercise at the same time. Winter is truly here. It's going to get much, much colder than this. I'm still going to be riding my bike every day. I think I'll do a video on what kind of clothes that I like to wear on a winter in Seoul. It's probably quite different to what I would wear in a winter elsewhere, where it's more wet. Anyway, time to descend. To get home for some fresh sourdough toast with plenty of butter and Marmite. A taste of home. Hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe if you want to see more. See you later. Absolutely glorious.